Hello, how's it going? Welcome into the Voice of Land podcast. My name is Ryan Mosser. My co-host Kevin Arnold is out this week with a sick family. Me and my family are just getting over it, so I can totally understand. So prayers up for health to him and his family. We are brought to you by LVP Productions and also Greeny Sports Cards. Follow them on all socials at Greeny Cards and check out their website, greenysportscards.com. That's greenysportscards.com. All right. So this episode is titled "The Browns Bye Week Breakdown." So I'm going to break down the Browns. I'm going to talk a little bit about them for a while, and then move on to some other stuff. The 2025 Cleveland Browns are 2-6 at midseason. Obviously, they have a bye this week, sitting last in the AFC North with major offensive struggles and quarterback instability. The Browns are fourth in the AFC North, 13th in the AFC, and they have a point differential of 126 points scored to 184 points allowed. That's a negative 58-point differential so far at the halfway mark of the season. They have 2 wins so far this year. They beat the Packers 13-10, where the Browns, defense absolutely stole that game at the end. A Grant Delpit interception and a great return, a blocked field goal. The defense won that game. They also beat the Miami Dolphins 31-6. The Dolphins are so bad that they made the Browns look like a competent team. Nonetheless, it was a great win. Quinshon Judkins may be the best Browns quarterback since Baker Mayfield, the way that he was utilized in the Wildcat formation. 3 touchdowns on the ground there. Electric there. The Browns' losses have been awful to watch this year so far. They lost to the Bengals 16-17, lost to the Ravens 17-41, lost to the Ravens 17-41. That awful team that the Ravens have right now. Lost to the Lions 10-34. Lost to the Steelers 9-23, and then lost to the Patriots last week 13-32. The Browns are 2-6 at the bye week in Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry's 6th season as the head coach and general manager. And honestly, don't kill me for this, but this may be worse than 1-31 fiasco with Hugh Jackson. I know that statement sounds harsh, but look at reality. We have $230 million quarterback who can't show his face around town practically. He should never be on the field again for us also. We have so many problems with this offensive line, and it's going to get even worse next year. I've mentioned it before, but next year, Joe Bitonio will most likely retire, but be an unrestricted free agent. If he doesn't, Ethan Pocic, our center, unrestricted free agent. Wyatt Teller, our other guard, will be an unrestricted free agent. We have DeJuan Jones, who's always hurt and no longer can be trusted. I really liked Big Thanos at right tackle, but he just can't stay on the field. He's unreliable, and, it's really sad. And then obviously Jack Conklin at right tackle. He's been stealing money from the Browns for years. Buddy is a walking cast and I think he's got paid over $80 million to play for the Browns so far. And that's theft in my opinion. So, not to mention that this entire season has been mismanaged by Kevin Stefanski in many ways. But specifically the quarterback situation is a complete farce. They gave all the reps in spring training to Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, gave limited snaps to Dylan Gabriel, and basically none to Shooter Sanders. There was reports that he was throwing to ball boys. They even let Snoop Huntley play a preseason game and then cut him right after. And then they, go on to trade Kenny Pickett away. So they completely wasted the spring training reps on him. They let Joe Flacco go out there and get murdered for several weeks. And then they end up trading the dude to a division rival, and he wins games there and looks fantastic. He's scoring over 20 points, 20, 30 points. Yeah, I get it. It's not hard, when you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins catching the ball. But Flacco is putting it in our receivers' hands, and time and time again, either the ball was dropped or deflected or intercepted because of that. It was not Flacco's fault, and he just makes this trade look really, really bad. None of it. It doesn't make sense at all. And then on top of that, Snoop Huntley just won a game for the Ravens. Their 3rd string quarterback after Lamar Jackson and Cooper Rush just won a game for them. But we can't have a competent offense on our team right now. It doesn't make sense. I will mention that on paper, the Browns do have the easiest schedule coming out of their bye, but I don't think that'll matter too much. So far, after 8 weeks, the Browns have the 31st ranked total offense, averaging 263.5 passing yards and 14 touchdowns, really, really bad. 30th in ranked passing and 29th in ranked rushing offense as well. Just absolutely bottom of the barrel offense. And Kevin Stefanski is supposed to be this guru play caller. I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it for 3 years now, and people have been just calling me dumb and idiot. I don't know ball. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry both suck and should not be on this team. They should have been fired last year. But here we are. Our defense looks really, really good. Third best defense so far after 8 games, allowing an average of 276.9 yards per game and 20 total touchdowns. Fifth best passing defense and 9th best rushing defense. All in all, really, really good defense. It's just really sad that, I've mentioned it time and time again that you can't expect this defense to continue to be on the field for a majority of the game and then not expect them to bend and then eventually break. It doesn't make sense. And that shows proof in the pudding last week with Myles Garrett making 5 sacks on the team and literally doesn't put a dent in the game at all. That's embarrassing. Browns offensive player stats. I mean, Dylan Gabriel has 700 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They talked about how he's a dual threat. You can't wait for his mobility. This guy is so mobile. He's going to open up the offense because he run. He has 7 rushes on 30 yards so far this season. Guy is not. I mean, everyone complaining that Joe Flacco is a statue, but at least he's getting the ball out. I don't know. Quinshon Judkins looks fantastic. I said he looks like a young Nick Chubb. I know that's a sore subject. 118 yards, 118 rushes, 486 yards, 5 touchdowns. And that was being out for 1.5 games, obviously, because it was looming suspension or just a resolution in that alleged domestic violence case. 16th ranked running back currently, but he is hurt right now in a day-to-day injury for his shoulder. We're on bye week. Hopefully he heals up for that. Jerome Ford looks garbage. He's done absolutely nothing this year. Dylan Sampson, the same. Jerry Jeudy is one of the worst receivers I've ever seen in my entire life. Jerry Jeudy 22 catches out of 54 targets, 257 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 catches last week as well. He is 66th ranked receiver right now as the number 1 receiver for the Browns. Rashee Rice is the 65th ranked receiver in the NFL right now, and he's only played 2 games this season for the Chiefs. That just tells you something. Rashee Rice already has better stats in 2 games than Jerry Jeudy's had all season. Not to mention that Jeudy also has the most drops this season so far. Embarrassing. David Njoku looks like a former shell of himself. Harold Fenton Jr. is obviously taking over that role as the tight end 1. He's the lead pass catcher on the offense right now. 38 catches for 352 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is the 7th ranked tight end in football right now. Very, very impressive by these rookies. It's sad that Andrew Berry's had really bad drafts. I mean, time and time again, we can go through the list and just talk about bad drafts. Last year, though, the first 4 picks were fantastic. It's really sad that this team is relying on these rookies so much so early. It's great for their development, and hopefully they get better over time. And they're playing great. Carson Westinger looks fantastic. Unfortunately, he's got a high ankle sprain now. He'll probably miss quite a bit of time, which sucks. He's leading the team in tackles right now with 64 tackles. He's got a sack and an interception, which was awesome. But he's going to be out. I mentioned Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fenton. The only question right now is the quarterback position. I mean, Dylan Gabriel does not look like the guy. He doesn't. I mean, anyone with eyes, anyone with a brain can see that. And we don't know what we have in Shedeur Sanders. And I don't know if we're being gaslit. Maybe he's genuinely just not doing well right now in practice and shouldn't be played. But anything is better than this. Anything. I mean, it's so bad, guys. It's so bad. I don't know. It's really, really sad. Brown sacks. I mean, Myles Garrett looks fantastic. Myles Garrett has 10 sacks. He's had 5 up until week 7, and then obviously he had 5 last week as well. Malik Collins 3.5, Alex Reich 3, and then we have a bunch of guys with 1 sacks. Overall, I mean, incredibly disappointed in so far this season. Incredibly disappointed. Not that I was not expecting this. I said time and time again that we're probably going to win 2 or 3 games. I did mention that the schedule does get a little easier. Following the bye, we have the Jets, the Ravens, the Raiders, 49ers, Tennessee, Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. Some of those are hard, but yeah, I mean, the Jets look easy. Baltimore's a shell of themselves. We don't know how they're going to play. The Raiders look bad. Tennessee looks bad. And then it's always a toss-up with the divisional games of Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. But do we trust this team to, be good at the end of the season. I don't know. I mean, is this team going to be bought in? Is this team? I mean, Myles Garrett's already, yelling and complaining a couple weeks ago about how that this offense is doing nothing. Now he has the right to talk about it. I said that he only had 3 sacks in the first 3 games, and then he didn't have another sack until I think it was 2 weeks ago. In that time, he was talking. I said, dude, you need to get on the field. You need to, prove, shut up, go out there, get more sacks. He obviously did that. 5 sacks this last game. He has the right now to talk his talk. And, with him, I would be incredibly frustrated. Going into the next topic, that was just a breakdown a little bit of, the Browns so far. This is probably going to be a little slower show because I'm talking pretty fast because I usually don't do solo. Next topic, piggybacking off of talking about Myles Garrett. Would you trade Myles Garrett? Obviously, he just signed a contract extension to stay in Cleveland until 2030. Jacob Hayes, real quick. Judkins QB1 before GTA 6 or Sanders start. Yeah, that's funny. I did not have Quinshon Judkins on my bingo board as QB1 for the Browns, but, that's what happened 2 weeks ago for sure. Excuse me. All right, yeah, Myles Garrett, would you trade him? Like I said, he just signed his contract extension to stay in Cleveland until 2030. If they do trade him, they'll have a huge dead money hit of nearly, I think it's $80 million in 2026. That's a lot of money to just trade a guy. That being said, it doesn't matter anymore. Myles Garrett is undeniably a Hall of Fame player. I mean, like I said, he just had 5 sacks against the Patriots last week. He's an absolute game wrecker, one of the best, if not the best, in the position, in the game. But unfortunately, we live in a world where a Hall of Fame defensive end can literally sack the quarterback 5 times and the team can still get their butts kicked. Before last week, any player who has ever recorded 5 sacks in a game, their team went on to win the game, or every time except for one time where one team lost by a field goal. So only 3 points. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks last week, and the Browns still found a way to lose by 19 points. We are way off here. This is embarrassing. 5 sacks of the game, a team should be up by a ton. We lost by 19 points. I mentioned it last week. Myles Garrett is a Ferrari in a trailer park. You've seen the meme where it's like the trailer and then the awning and then the Ferrari's parked. Like, hey, that's him. I mean, the trailer park is the Cleveland Browns organization, the team, and Myles Garrett is the Ferrari. Excuse me. Earlier today, Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports was on 102.5 The Game, a radio station in Nashville, and he said that Howie Roseman, the Eagles, he's the GM for the Eagles, are, quote, hot for Myles Garrett, and that Roseman is willing to give up 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett today. I mean, yeah, count me in. Unfortunately, this is not for a one-year fix for the Browns. There are way too many holes to fill on this offense. I would absolutely trade Myles Garrett to the Eagles for 3 first-round picks without a doubt in a heartbeat. That's sad. I love Myles Garrett, but, be realistic. I mean, that would essentially give us 3 2026 first-round picks, 2 27 first-round picks, and then 2 28 first-round picks. I get that the dead cap is nearly $80 million, and that would be a lot. But, it would be supplemented by those cheap rookie contracts that are, from the first-round picks. Not to mention that Deshaun Watson's horrible contract, I believe, ends in 2026. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's right. The Browns have an opportunity to build something special to going into 2028. But if, they keep Myles, they're not only wasting his career, but also wasting the careers of other veterans on this team. Excuse me, a Myles Garrett trade to the Eagles for 3 first-round picks would set this team up to possibly contend for the division at the very least by the time the new stadium at Brook Park opens in 28. Some may argue that if we're going to trade him, why did they extend his contract this last year? And the answer to that is because they are morons. That's it. They're morons. Also some have said that Andrew Berry is too prideful to be known as the guy who traded away Baker Mayfield, gave Deshaun Watson all of that, about $230 million guaranteed, and also traded away Myles Garrett, Hall of Fame player, the only one since Joe Thomas on this team. He's too prideful to be the guy known as that. So, those are valid reasons, but I'm just telling you what I would do. I would trade him. I love him. It's sad to say. It's really sad to say, but got to do what you got to do. Now trusting to Andrew Berry with those, first round picks to make those selections, if we do trade Myles Garrett, is a different story. But I digress for sure. So, Yeah, so those rumors right now. Another comment from Jacob Hazlett. Even if things turned up for the Browns, Miles is checked out. Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, at this point, I mean, what is he playing for other than his own statistics and stuff like that? I mean, week after week, you see the offense get absolutely crushed. Week after week, you're doing your best. You're going out there and kicking offensive linemen's butts and getting to the quarterback. And for what? To lose by 19. Logic says that he's going to check out. I mean, if he hasn't already, which is insane. He has every right to complain. He has every right to be annoyed, and he rightfully should be. So, all right. All right, so the Browns are on the bye, and the NFL trade deadline is next Tuesday, November 4th. So coming up in less than a week. Will the Browns be buyers or sellers? I think they absolutely should be sellers on Tuesday. It just makes sense. Like I said before, practically our entire offensive line will be free agents next year. That doesn't bode well for this year because our offensive line sucks. But logic tells me that maybe, you want to see what you have in Luke Whippler, the backup center from Ohio State, or, Zach Zinter, the backup guard from Michigan, and maybe give those guys a chance to see what you have because those are pretty much the guys that will be on this team, only be on this team next year who are healthy, other than DeJuan Jones and Jack Conklin, who you cannot trust in. I could see them trading Ethan Posick. I could see them trading Wyatt Teller. I've been mentioning it all year, but it makes sense for the Browns to trade away David Njoku. It absolutely makes sense for the Browns to trade away David Njoku, and especially after what we've seen after 8 weeks with them. I mean, he's on the last year of his contract. He has clearly been overshadowed by a rookie tight end, Harold Finn Jr., who looks absolutely electric, leads the team in receptions. It just makes sense that they send him to a playoff contending team instead of losing him for nothing in free agency next season. I do not expect him to re-sign. I think that he'll move on to greener pastures, especially with the results of this year with Fannin Jr., a rookie, playing over him. I would definitely count David Njoku in on the clock for trade block, or on the block for trade block, excuse me. And then finally, I can see them possibly trading Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford has been just garbage this year. He's not done anything. Let's see his statistics. Yeah, 28 rushes for 51 yards, 21 catches for 76 yards. He's an RB 50. I mean, not that many teams are lining up to trade for Jerome Ford, but maybe just a change of scenery might be nice for him. All right, I'm going into something here where I'm going to stop talking about the Browns, and I'm going to talk about the Cavs. Okay, I titled this one "Reckless Speculation." So get ready. This is going to be a journey, but here we go. Here we go. However, I'm not going to talk about the Cavs this season. I'm not even going to talk about the Cavs last season. Let me explain. I've been thinking a lot lately. Oh, I'm nervous about this, guys. All right. I've been thinking a lot lately about the gambling arrest for the FBI towards the NBA. Obviously, we know that Chauncey Billups was arrested for allegedly rigging gambling games involved with the mob and mafia. I think 4 families total were involved, allegedly. We know that Terry Rozier was arrested for throwing games. We know that Damon Jones was arrested for sharing inside information about injuries. All of this is alleged until they're proven guilty, obviously. However, here we go. I was thinking that there's no way that only these guys could be involved. I mean, only 4 or 5 guys out of a handful, out of the entire NBA, a ton of instances. I mean, then I started reflecting about our beloved Cleveland Cavaliers, and I was thinking back in time to any specific play that looked a little questionable. And my brain instantly went to one play, and maybe yours did too. The 2017-2018 NBA Finals, Game 1. If you recall, all right, first off, what I'm going to say is completely reckless speculation. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I am not. This is just simply observations. Kevin, my co-host, has made it clear that we don't like doing hot takes on the show. This is not a hot take. This is just an educated observation. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm specifically talking about the play that ended at the regulation of Game 1 in the Finals of 2017, where we got the famous meme of LeBron going like that towards J.R. Smith. as J.R. Smith decided to rebound the ball in a tied game with less than 5 seconds left in regulation in the fourth quarter, instead of trying to score or pass the ball, he waited. He dribbled back. He dribbled all the way back to half court, and then passes it with a split second left on the clock, and the game goes to overtime. There have been a couple different instances where he's talked about, I thought we were up. There was another instance on a podcast where he said he just didn't have a shot because he had KD right in his face, and he's 7 foot tall, and he tried getting a shot over him. There's just some couple of different stories here. I don't know. I mean, now you're probably thinking it was just an all-time bullheaded play, and that's absolutely could be the case. Like I said, this is reckless speculation. However, what if I told you that as J.R. Smith was walking to the bench with his head down, there was a guy sitting right behind him that was an assistant coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers that was just arrested by the FBI in this takedown last week? That's right. Damon Jones was sitting directly behind J.R. Smith as he walked to the bench in the 2017-2018 for Game 1 of the finals. After a few seconds, you see Jones and another coach stand up, and Jones leans towards J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is sitting in front of him, not facing him, so just facing the court. He leans to his left ear a little bit. You can't see if he said something because there are players standing there, but he gets relatively closer to J.R., leans forward, and looks like he might have whispered something to J.R. This is, of course, reckless speculation. It's not facts unless they're proven. It's just my observation. Then, if you remember, J.R. Smith and Damon Jones had an altercation that following year where J.R. Smith threw some hot chicken tortilla soup at him. I don't know. I'm not blaming anyone for anything. Let me be clear. I will always love J.R. Smith for his role for helping, bring a championship to Cleveland. He'll always be a legend to me. All I'm saying is that, you would be naive to think that there are only a handful of guys that were doing this in the NBA. And honestly, probably the NFL and baseball also. I mean, this is going to get opened up a lot, guys. Hopefully my observations are off, and, this is just one big coincidence. And there's a logical answer for every observation that I made that completely vindicates him. But it does look and smell a little fishy to me. So, I went back and watched that play specifically all the way up until overtime. And it just, I don't know. It was a completely bow-handed play. The Cavs end up losing in overtime. I have the right to question it. That's all I'm saying. No accusations, just questioning. And then wow, this show is so fast, guys. I'm almost done here. This is crazy. Apparently I go way too fast when I'm by myself. Kevin has a great pace. I do not. Just to lighten the mood, I'm just going to go over my favorite Halloween candy. Tomorrow's Halloween. So why not? Top one for me is Reese's, specifically Reese's Fast Break. I absolutely love them. I think they're so good. 2 is Twix. 3 is Payday. 4 is Baby Ruth. And then 5 is Tootsie Rolls. That's pretty simple, but I just like them. I don't know. That's all I got, guys. Sorry this was so short. I'm at only 25 minutes. Usually we go an hour. I'm going to have to work better at spacing this out, slowing it down a little bit, or just adding more topics. But that's it. Once again, we are brought to, I never even talked about this. We are brought to you by LVB Productions and Greeny Sports. Yes, I did. Follow them on all socials at Greeny Sports or Greeny's Cards. Also, check out their website, greenysportscards.com. That's greenysportscards.com. Shout out to my co-host, Kevin Arnold. Looking forward to be with him next week. Prayers up that they just get healthy, his family. For me, Ryan Mosser, for Kevin Arnold, for Peter Tellup, our producer. This has been the Voice of the Land podcast. Don't ever let someone tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all 3,000. Don't ever talk about it. Be about it. Trade Myles Garrett. Get some first-round picks. We will see you next Thursday on the Voice of the Land podcast. Have a good night.